Hi guys, my name's Amy and this is my video blog about my family. So there's 5 of us in my immediate family, me, my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. And my dad is not my blood, he's my stepfather, but he's definitely a part of my family orientation. He's the one that raised me, so. And then I have like an adopted, if you will, brother, who's not really adopted, but he's become a part of our kinship as well. So we like to say he's the 6th member of our family. So the 6 of us grew up in a middle-class family. My mom was she was a manager of a daycare, and my dad was a chef. So it was your typical Italian family. As far as, you know, we were Christian, they're loud and crazy, and everything was kind of based around food, and whether it's eating it, cooking it, shopping for it, anything to do with food is a way of life. Sports is also a way of life. Giants, Yankees, Knicks, anything New York, although we're all terrible right now, I'm very well aware. But, yeah, we, just growing up, we just, very typical, very loving, like I said, very loud, very opinionated, just very, very good people. Holidays were huge, very, very huge. So never seen Christmas with the Cranks was very, very similar to that. We very, very big parties for everything. However, it was much smaller house than in that movie, if you've seen it. But very good times. And after my dad passed about 4 years ago, we kind of lost track of that, and everyone kind of started doing their own thing. This day and age, people had to work on the holidays and stuff. Sometimes we celebrate Christmas on the 27th instead of the 25th, and yeah, we kind of lost touch of it for a while. And long story short, a year ago I had my son, Jordan, and he kind of put everybody back together again. And now we're working on the family values as far as making sure we have those dinners and those holidays and make that time for it, because this day and age it's really, really hard to do that. The world doesn't really work that way. You just kind of have to make it happen. So it's been something we've been working on. So it's one of the many blessings that my son has brought to me. Now, as far as primary socialization goes, it's sort of what I just touched on. It's like the norms and values that you take from your primary social group basically is meaning that the values that you take from the people that usually raised you. It's predominantly your family, but it could be, your peers and stuff that you do your primary socializing from. But in my case, it's my family. And, like I said, we're Christian, so all those values I plan on instilling in my child. I plan on, being just as loving and open-minded and amazing as my parents were. If you look back until, like, the 50s, the 50 years ago to the 70s, it's a very obviously different time. They were all about kind of, getting into the peace and all that. And when I talked to my mom about it, she was like, the difference is back then I had to worry about if I didn't have my butt in the seats by the time the lights came on outside from playing on the streets, playing baseball or whatever, your grandmother was going to kick my butt. I'm like, well, that can't happen anymore because A, you can't kick your kid's butt or you're going to jail. B, people don't just sit around and have dinner at a family table as much anymore. And C, let's face it, you're not letting your kids run around out there in the world today. Not unsupervised. And my mom was like, that was our biggest concern then. Now you have to worry about going to malls and movie theaters and all these places and what's going to happen. So it's a very, very different world. If you look on TV, there's so many different changes, and people get popular culture. There's so many different. I'm not really a big movie person. Outside of ESPN, I really don't watch a whole lot of TV. But the one that came to my mind when it came to, so I just saw this thing on Netflix about Full House. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like a really old show from the 80s. Anyway, and no, I'm not old enough to have watched it. I've seen it on Nick at Night, okay? So, it's about a girl who, she's widowed, and her sister and her sisters and her good friends are staying with her to help her raise her 3 kids. And the best part about it is that the first original show when it came out was the dad. His wife died, and so he was living. And it's funny watching the comparisons between the two. And like maybe if this would have happened 50 years ago, like I was just talking about, then maybe she would have had to be like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is what I do, like my grandmother was. This is what I do, so I'm going to have to quit my job and stay home and find a husband. No, she's a veterinarian. She did her thing. Nowadays with, all the reconstructed families and cohabitation and same-sex marriages and all the single moms and everything, it was a really, really good representation of it because this is real life. Her kids are using cell phones. They're taking selfies at dinner. They're doing things that she's like, it's unheard of. Somebody asked her for her number. There's no looking it up in the yellow pages like it was when her dad had the show. So it's really, really funny to see the way that is a modern family. It's not just a nuclear family with a mom, a dad, and 2 kids. It's a very different world we live in. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.